Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. And I want to talk about emotional affairs in this video. Kind of an obvious idea if you're familiar with it, but a lot of people still aren't familiar with it. Emotional affairs. What is an affair, first of all? It's, cheating on somebody or having a relationship that is of questionable propriety. Something that you probably wouldn't do in the light of day, wouldn't want to announce publicly for various reasons. Maybe it would damage your reputation or your standing in a job or a family. And there's more than one way to have an affair, it turns out. A lot of people are confused about this, so I'm going to try to disambiguate what that means. Obviously, having sex with somebody constitutes an affair by most definitions, by most conventional meanings. Having sex is the, obvious deal breaker. If you went with somebody and had sex with them and failed to mention it or had no, intention of disclosing it to a partner or a family member or whoever, there's a lot of reasons why this could be considered inappropriate. And it all comes down to honesty, right? It comes down to disclosure, honesty, prior agreements, expectations, and your intentions, whether you were trying to hide something or not. And if you can't do it in the light of day, there really is a really easy rule of thumb here. If you can't, or if you're not comfortable doing it in the light of day, there's usually a very good reason for that. So what is an emotional affair? Well, if you take it apart, it's being around somebody, spending quality time with them, which if you have watched my other videos, I feel strongly is the main attraction point to having a relationship with somebody. It's the quality time, the shared experiences. And the sex in a romantic situation is kind of just the centerpiece. It's not the main thing. It's the symbol of loving expression within a bigger picture. That bigger picture is comprised of quality time, an expectation of permanency, and all of these things. So an emotional affair is that person who's like, oh, well, we didn't have sex. We never even touched each other. But they're doing all the other stuff, they're having the emotions, the quality time, they're sharing experiences in a romantic, meaningful way. And I'm not going to name any names in this video, but a lot of people come to mind. And it's very sad to me that parents sometimes fall, they get confused themselves. God bless them. A lot of fathers, they get confused and they think, well, the rule is, there's no rule about it. It's what sets your kid up for happiness. That's the rule. If you need a rule, it's what sets your kid up for leaving eventually and being happy and successful on their own. That's the rule if you need one. It's not don't fuck your daughter. Pardon me. But a lot of guys think this. A lot of fathers, unfortunately, think, well, if I'm not, actually physically touching my daughter, all bets are off. Everything is allowed. No. It can actually be much worse. For example, if a father is spending romantic time with his daughter, that is the quality time, having an emotional affair with his daughter, going to romantic getaways all the time, what you end up doing with that child is you make it impossible for her to be okay without daddy. At some point, you're not going to be there, one way or another. At some point, even if all those experiences are still available somehow, which is a long shot in most cases, she's not going to be okay without her husband, because in her heart and her mind, her dad has become her husband under those circumstances. So I guess my point is, understand that the heart can get pregnant. Understand that quality time is the main thing, and sex is just the icing on the cake for romance. And your intentions are either going to be giving or taking, ultimately, on one side or the other. When you boil them all down, are you being selfish? What are your intentions? Are you trying to satisfy yourself, gratify your own, loneliness? Are you trying to, have a romance, but, do it within some kind of framework of rules where you're not going to get caught doing something, so you just don't actually, take your pants off? Because if you ask me, that's even worse. It's worse to do that because you're impregnating her heart, and that does irreparable damage forever. If you disagree or if you like this video, reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.